Hi, welcome to Understanding Perspective Basics, how to rapidly draw a cube in two-point perspective. So how do we get here where you can confidently draw a cube knowing that what you're drawing is going to be accurate in perspective? First, you need to have an understanding of the cube in 3D space. Take a look at this cube. As it moves up and down and side to side, notice the proportion and the balance between the three sides that you can see. As you move up, you see the bottom. When you move down, you see more of the top. As you move to the side you're moving towards diminishes, and the side away from where you're moving gets wider. To know how the cube moves through 3D space is very important. Okay, let's get started by setting up our drawing space. The first step to doing that is putting in a horizon line. So let's go ahead and put in a line halfway up our space vertically, perfectly horizontal. This works great when you're doing sort of abstract shape compositions in perspective. It's not from observation where our horizon line might be lower, but it's perfect for this type of thing. Next, let's put in our vanishing points. And again, since we're in abstract space, let's just go ahead and put in some dots near the edge. That'll be our vanishing point left, and here's our vanishing point right. Then lastly, let's lay in a circle that's 2/3 the width of our space between our vanishing points, which will be our cone of vision. So perspective laid out within the cone of vision should look fairly accurate, and it will distort once you get outside the cone of vision a little closer to the vanishing points. Now this method is to get about 95% accurate through a method of estimating our perspective. So we're not looking for a perfectly calculated perspective here. We're looking for fast, rapid, illustrated perspective. So let's get started by laying in our first cube. Let's pick the lower right, and we're going to put our leading edge in. So our leading edge is the edge closest to us. And now we've set the height of our cube. The next thing we want to do is connect the top and the bottom of our leading edge out to our vanishing points. So we're going to lay in some guidelines here and connect top and bottom to vanishing point right, and then top and bottom to vanishing point left. Now the step after this will be the step that requires some judgment. If you recall covering how the cube moves through 3D space, when it's in the center, our widths are equal. As we get closer to one vanishing point, the side of the cube closest to the vanishing point gets narrow, and the side of the cube away from the vanishing point gets wider. So here we're a little bit right of center, so the right side of our cube, the width should be less than the left side of our cube. So let's go ahead and set that up here now. So here's my estimated width, and now I want to balance that by having a little bit wider on the left. And we're fairly close to center, so it should be fairly balanced. Never will my widest width be longer than the height of my leading edge of my cube. So let's go ahead and drop this guy right about here. And from at this point, we're getting on to the fourth step, which is crossing over. So to draw the back side of the cube, we're going to cross over from the left side of the cube to the right vanishing point with a guideline, and from the right side of the cube to the vanishing point to the left. And this gives us all the guidelines we need to draw our cube. Once you get proficient at setting this up, you can start dispensing with the guidelines and getting the balance of the sides depending on where you are within your cone of vision. So lastly, let's go through and sharpen up our lines. I'm going to put a black thin line on the lines that are in the center. Now we'll go a little thicker around the edge. This defines our silhouette in the edge of our form. Okay, got a nice looking cube in perspective. Let's do one more in the upper right, and we'll try to bang through this a little bit faster. So, leading edge, let's get a little bit closer to the vanishing point. This sets the height of our cube. Now we're going to connect up our guidelines. Top and bottom, the vanishing points right and left. We're going to estimate, again, our widths. So we're pretty close to the edge of the cone of vision. So this guy's going to be fairly narrow. And conversely, fairly wide on the right side. Now we just need to connect by crossing over. Remember, to show the far edge, we're going to cross over from left to right vanishing point, and vice versa. And let's take an extra step here and draw in, or sometimes we say draw through, the back side of the cube, that if we could see through it, it would look something like this. So again, the far sides I'm crossing over. So now we can see through our cube a little bit, and let's firm up those lines with some nice black. Again, I'm using thinner lines in the middle where our form is changing, and thicker lines around the silhouette of the cube. So again, notice how when we get further out to the vanishing points, our angles are going to become a little more acute. The side closest to the vanishing point is going to get a little narrower, and we're going to get a little wider on the side facing away from the vanishing point. Let's add some more cubes to the space and see if we can find the rhythm to drawing them. Start with a leading edge, connect to vanishing points, estimate widths, cross over to opposite vanishing point, and outline. Leading edge, connect to vanishing points, estimate widths, cross over to opposite vanishing point. Lastly, leading edge, connect to vanishing points, estimate widths, cross over to opposite vanishing point, and finalize your lines. At this point, you should feel comfortable and be able to continue filling out your 3D space with as many cubes as you want, multiplying, dividing, subtracting, adding, until you get the complexity that you're looking for out of your perspective. Good luck and keep drawing.